Hello. Welcome to Port Misery, a GH podcast where we try to figure out why everyone in Port Charles is miserable this week. Sorry, y'all. It was a short week. Most of you know, I know most of my listeners are in the US, but there are a few of you outside of the US. We had Thanksgiving this week in the US or last week. Happy Thanksgiving, y'all. I hope y'all had a good time. I cooked a lot. I made like stuffing, mac and cheese. We had a roast because we're not big turkey people. We weren't really feeling ham this year. But it was really great. Hopefully you all had a really great time with your family, or your friends. I love a good Friendsgiving. But because of all that, there was only 3 episodes. So there was only Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Thursday and Friday were preempted for sports. And because I think that, like, Disney assumes that no one's going to stay home and watch. What? I just read an article. I don't know how legitimate this is, but it was saying how, like, GH is actually a really big hit on Hulu. Like, there are people who just exclusively watch it on Hulu. And I don't really know if they mean like, oh, because it's like tends to be in the top 10, or they're like tracking people who had never watched the show who are now watching it on Hulu. But it's kind of like a Hulu darling. And so with that knowledge, I don't understand why you wouldn't just throw an episode on Hulu. But I guess we don't want to encourage them to like forgo the live broadcast just for streaming. For like monetary purposes, I would assume. We want the budget to stay the same, and it's not going to stay the same if they're exclusively on streaming. And so, but I'm just very conscious that like I still got to watch Days all week, and like Days didn't give a shit. They were like, "Well, it's on Peacock for when you're ready. Like watch it during Thanksgiving dinner, watch it after Thanksgiving dinner, watch it while you're cooking Thanksgiving dinner. We don't give a shit. Like watch it in line during your Black Friday sales, like whatever. We're putting it up." And so maybe I'm just a hater, but I know that all the other soaps were on hiatus for those 2 days. Like I think that Beyond the Gates was just like off for maybe 3 days. Like they didn't have a Wednesday episode. And then I heard that YNR and Bold just didn't do Thursday and Friday. So it was kind of like across the spectrum of soaps, except for Days, which is on streaming exclusively. But we did have a lot of movement in the 3 days that happened. There weren't that many stories. Like I said, over the past few weeks, even though I do have some critiques about how long certain storylines are taking to play out, all of the characters are pretty much falling into one another. I mean, there are some people missing this week. Like, we have the kids talking about the whole breaking into the lab situation, but Rick is not there. Um, we have There's something else I noticed where I was like, where is this person? But they weren't there. I don't know, maybe when I'm doing the recap, I'll remember. I'll be like, "Oh, it was this person." Where I was like, "Where the fuck are they?" We learned that see, I love that one of the things I love about Jonathan Jackson coming back is now Liz's children always have an excuse to not be on the canvas. Like, obviously, Cameron and Jake are adults, and they're living their lives, are going to college, they're doing other things. But now that Lucky isn't a deadbeat, anytime Aiden is missing, it's like he's with his dad. Great. We love that. We love to see Lucky being a present father off screen. And so that's happening. There's just a lot of things happening. And so all of the stories kind of go into each other just because it's all to do with like Rocco's hospital and who shot Drew, to be honest. Like, even like I'm gonna start like I could just start. Like I can start with Black Hospital. All they're talking about is who shot Drew and how Drew's an asshole. And kind of how Jordan sucks, but that's not really the main topic of conversation. And so let's start with Ava and Trina. We don't even see Black Hospital until Wednesday. And so it's kind of crazy that I'm starting with them, but I kind of want to just get them out of the way because they were just sort of tacked on as we remind the audience that Black Hospital is up to their ears in Drew's shooting for various different ways. Like if you haven't been watching regularly, sorry, I cannot talk today. If you haven't been watching regularly, Portia was being blackmailed by Drew, who in turn was using that to blackmail Curtis. Drew was obviously upset because Curtis teamed with Michael to steal Aurora. Someone shot Drew. We don't know who it is. Trina was in the house because she was trying to get the blackmail material on her parents back from him. And then all this stuff about how connected Black Hospital is to Drew, because like Law and Order Hospital has no idea that Black Hospital is this deep. Like even earlier or even I think during this episode with Nathan and Dante, they're talking about how like, well, Curtis doesn't seem to have a very strong alibi or a very strong motive. And, Nathan has to bring up like, well, Drew, he tried to send Stella to prison. So I don't know. But I have a feeling next week, hopefully next week, they're going to realize that, oh, Black Hospital is, like I said, up to their ears in the Drew shooting thing. But Ava is talking to Trina and she's like, oh, did Jordan want to buy any art from us? And Trina's like, nah, she gonna buy her art someplace else because I told her ass she a loser and that I'm gonna make sure that she never gets back with my dad. And Ava's kind of like, oh, well, I don't know if you can control that girl. Like, yes, she is a loser, but your dad's kind of a loser too. He's into that. And so they're talking, Portia shows up. And it was really right when Trina was saying that, she resents somebody or I don't know, but Portia is like, what did I just walk in on? Who do you resent? And Trina tries to cover. Portia's like, you want to go to dinner? Trina's like, oh, I'm going to dinner with Curtis and Stella. Do you want to go? Portia's like, no, obviously not. Me and your dad are still getting a divorce, so no, I don't want to go. And I'll also not be going to Thanksgiving because why would I want to do that? I've decided to work. And Trina is just, I get it. I said this last week, I think, or maybe the week before, where I get why she's like very upset about her parents breaking up. I think that the writers of this show just completely forget that Trina didn't grow up with this family. Where she's like, I feel like my family's being torn apart. No, you're an adult. You can see these people separately. Keep the energy for Jordan, because fuck her. But this, like, oh my god, I am so broken up. I waver on this every time it plays because I feel like they go from playing just the right amount of her being disappointed that her parents' marriage didn't work out to her being like overboard distraught about it. Like I don't care about that. But Portia's like, look, we're always going to come together for you. And so that's all you need to worry about. Who cares when I'm going to Thanksgiving dinner? If something happened to you, me and your dad would put all that shit to the left and we would be a team. So don't even worry about that. And so Trina leaves. Ava is talking to Portia, and I really like that they're emphasizing the Ava Portia relationship. That like, look, we're cool. We're cool because Trina brings us together, and so I'm gonna do what I can to protect you because that protects Trina. And so Ava is talking to Portia. Portia's like, so well, who is she talking about? Was she talking about Jordan? Was she talking about me? Ava's like, I'm not going to say who she was talking about, but I will say she wasn't talking about you. You don't have to worry about that. Don't even worry about that, girl. And then as a very good friend, and it's so funny because like Ava loves to betray Nina. Like that is their favorite thing to do, is for like their favorite pastime in their friendship is for Ava to utterly betray Nina and for Nina to just take that shit. For her to just take it and be like, well, that's the quirky thing of our friendship. And now here's the thing. I'm on Ava's side with this because Nina was out of pocket. But Ava tells Portia essentially that Nina is a disloyal ass bitch to her. That like Nina is probably told Alexis that you were being blackmailed by Drew. Now she don't know why you were being blackmailed. Only Ava knows why she was being blackmailed. But like Nina doesn't know why Portia was being blackmailed, but she probably let it out. Portia fucking loses it, as she should. As she should. She's like, really, bitch? Like, wow. To get her in-grade ass daughter who don't even fucking like her off? Wow. And Ava's trying to be like, well, like, we don't know if she actually did it, but she probably did it. And Portia is just like, nah. Nah, fuck her. What are we talking about? Why is she doing this? I'm about to have a baby and everything. I know she don't know that, but still, like, to get whack ass Willow off, she said, let me throw Portia under the bus. Fuck her. Fuck her. And Ava apologizes. She's like, I just feel really bad because obviously you wouldn't even be this close to her if it wasn't for me. I feel like it's also Curtis's fault because that's his bestie too, to be honest. And he's been besties with Nina longer than Ava has. And so I'm going to give Curtis that bullet too. This is what you get for bringing a disloyal white woman into our lives, right? Portia's clearly better at picking white lady friends than fucking Nina. But, or than Curtis is with Nina. Portia having Ava as her devious white lady bestie is better than Curtis having Nina as her devious, or his devious white lady bestie. It's fucking trash. Like, Nina's trash. But, they're talking about that. The rest of Black Hospital, sans Jordan, is over at the Port Charles Grill having dinner, and Stella decides to crash out. She decides to crash out. Like, they were talking about, before Trina came in, they were talking about the baby. Curtis was like, yeah, I'm not getting back with Jordan, but we're going to raise this baby together. Stella, understandably, is like, I'm disappointed in that. Like I said last week, I understand why she feels that way. I don't agree with it, but I get it. But that's how older Black people be, to be honest. But he shows her the ultrasound. Curtis cannot stop just blasting this pregnancy everywhere. I'm surprised the entire cast don't know about it at this point, because like, he telling everybody, he's showing ultrasound pictures out in public. It's a fucking mess. It's a fucking mess. You only deal with two women for the town that think you be having a baby with. And so that's either Jordan's baby or Portia's baby. Like, regardless, why are you doing this in public? Why are you doing this in public? I am so annoyed by Curtis. I wish nothing but ill will towards him. But Trina shows up, tells Stella that Portia's not going to Thanksgiving. Curtis doesn't even care. Curtis is like, well, that sucks, but let's just be thankful for our blessings. And then Stella decides to crash out. She decides to crash out and go cuss Drew out. Curtis tries to snatch her back, and Drew is essentially like, remind your aunt that charges can be refiled, investigations can be reopened. Tell her to watch herself. At that point, Curtis goes back to the table and he's like, I'm going to take care of my family from that man by any means necessary. Now, I don't like this phrasing because it makes it sound like maybe Curtis did do it, and I don't want Curtis to do it because, like I said, it just reinforces everything Drew already thinks about him. Now, I don't think that he did it because Drew is so convinced that he did. Like, Drew is more convinced that Curtis shot him than Michael. He just wants Michael to go down for it. Please don't make it Curtis. Please don't make it Curtis. It's not clever. It's not interesting. It's not going to help move the story forward. At this point, it kind of has to be Willow, but we'll get into it. But that's pretty much all that happens with Black Hospital. Like I said, it just ends with Drew telling Martin that he's gonna get Curtis and his little aunt too when the time comes after he's done, going after Michael. Martin is like, I told you if you try to put Stella in jail, I'm not gonna work for you. Be so fucking serious. Drew's like, I don't have to put her in jail. She's gonna be sad when I come for her nephew. And that's pretty much Black Hospital. Like I said, Drew torturing him still. But let's go over to Spy Hospital. So Spy Hospital, Carly is still disgusted by Pikeman. And he's starting to notice. He's definitely starting to notice that she's not feeling him like she used to. And that's, I give Laura Wright all the credit for playing that so, like, blindly for so long. Because she was just like, oh my God, I believe in Jack. And oh my God, Jack is so nice, and we love Jack. Isn't he the best? Ooh, Jack, Jack, Jack. And now she's back over here with me, like fucking Pikeman. What an A shit bitch. Hate that man. But like I said, Pikeman's starting to notice. And so Carly's like, let me go get us some breakfast. Let me take a shower. Wash this disgusting man off of me. I mean, I like you, bruh. Having such a great time here. He calls Jocelyn naked in bed. Yes, he's naked, just got done blowing her mom's back out, and decides to call Jocelyn, like, hey girl, give me my update. Sir, sir, why are you like this? Why are you actually like this? This is gross. This is very gross. Now Jocelyn is over at Dollar Tree Dex's house in his bed, and she's not supposed to be there. She's not supposed to be there, but she's like, well, whatever. He shouldn't be banging my mom, so I don't care. But she gives a little update, like, look, I took Lucas aside. I'm fighting with my mom. I'm in. He considers me a confidant. Pikeman is like, great, make up with your mom. What? What? What are you talking about? How am I supposed to both be on Lucas's side and make up with my mom, you old bitch? And she's like, do you need me to do this, like, for the good of national fucking security? Or it's to make it easier for you to blow my mom's back out? Let me know. And he's like, both, bitch, and hangs up. This storyline is so chaotic. It's so chaotic. Cause why? Imagine if you had to deal. Imagine if your boss was blowing your mom's back out, and that it's one thing if your boss is your dad. I'm talking about you are an adult, right? You are over the age of 21, and then your boss starts dating your mom, and now your mom's relationship with your boss is somehow tied to your work review. The fuck? It's so annoying. But he's like, yeah, make up with your mom because I don't want to deal with this. And so he hangs up, and Joss finally tells Dollar Tree Dex that she don't like this thing. She don't like that she has to let her uncle live with this white East African warlord. It's dangerous. And I'm like, thank God, because like they're really making her seem real cold and callous towards her family. Like, well, this is for the good of national security. So I let my uncle get blown up at Windermere. Now she's like, I shouldn't. And my mom was right. This out of pocket. This way out of pocket. I can't abide by any of this. And so I like that. Back with Pikeman and Carly, he's like, hey, Carly, you should make peace with Jocelyn and Lucas. Carly's like, what? Why? Why? I'm supposed to just pretend like I support my brother dating this white East African warlord's son who's clearly in on the fucking shenanigans? And if he not, he know enough about them and don't give a fuck? Which means he ain't shit person? But I'm supposed to make peace with that? I'm supposed to make peace with Jocelyn, who really out here judged me for the past like 8 years because I talked to Sunny, but now it's fine that her uncle is dating the son of a white East African warlord. She cool with that? Now we just gotta let people do what they want. We can't stop them. We can't talk to them. Fuck out of here. Fuck out of here. I really hope they let Carly cuss out Jocelyn. I really hope they let her cuss out Jocelyn. Cuss her out. Cause this is out of pocket. This out of pocket. Like, what the fuck? But like I said, I like that they gave Jocelyn dialogue that shows that she's not a heartless cunt. And they have Carly and Jocelyn like, quote, make up, unquote, in front of General Hospital, because they're still arguing about this. Because like Carly's like, well, I'm gonna go talk to Lucas and try to blow that over. And sorry that I took my frustrations out on you, Jocelyn, even though you wrong as hell. And Jocelyn's like, why am I wrong? Why am I wrong? I'm just supporting my uncle. I'm not allowed to support my uncle. Carly's like, I don't want to fight. I don't want to fight. Um, I'm gonna let that man do what he wants, but I'm still gonna be worried. I'm still gonna side eye it. And Johnson's like, wouldn't expect anything less. How about you don't ambush him at work? How about I go and like smooth shit over for you? And we don't see it. We don't see none of that. I don't know if that's what's popping up on Monday's episode, but like she just disappears in the GH and we do not see Carly and Joss for the rest of the week. Goodbye, Carly and Joss. Thank you. Um, the next thing we see is Dollar Tree Dex. Now he's with Pikeman, and he's explaining to Pikeman that Kane from YNR crashed out and tried to get Sonny Corinthos' grandson arrested successfully so, and then got drunk, and so now he needs to go talk to that man. He's supposed to come see them. Pikeman's like, cool. And then a bunch of people jump out of the alleyway and just jump Dollar Tree Dex. And Pikeman's like, I told you to stop blowing Jocelyn's back out. I got eyes everywhere, bitch. And then just takes him away. That's the last we see of him. And so I don't know what's about to happen with him. I don't know what's about to happen with him. I saw some stuff on Twitter that kind of seemed like it implied that he's off the show, but I didn't see anything official enough to let me know that he's off the show, so I assume he's gonna pop back up. Now, I think he's too old to be put with Jocelyn, but that's neither here nor there. Like, at the end of the day, the age difference is weird, but it's not illegal, right? And so I don't think he's off the show until they give me, like, when Kane from YNR got put in the trunk, they were like, Daniel Goddard's off the show. Like, thank you, Daniel Goddard, for your service. Thank you for playing that part. Thank you so much, right? But we didn't get that for this man. When Dex was off the show, they were like, Evan Hoffer's off the show. Thank you for your service. Thank you for playing that role. Thank you for the future storyline potential that it gives us to kill you. Goodbye, sir, right? We didn't get that for Dollar Tree Dex, so I don't know if he's actually gone. I don't know. The final story that's like attached to Spy Hospital, just because they were talking about him so much, I could have put him in Delusional Hospital, which is next. He is kind of delusional. Obviously, it's Lucas himself, who is an actual bird in this fucking story. Like, this is so dumb. This is so dumb. And him just choosing to be irrationally mad at Carson when Liz is pretty much saying the exact same shit that Carly's saying. Like, Liz doesn't like any of this shit at all. Liz don't like any of this shit. She's like, bruh, be so fucking serious. What's this? What is this? Why are you living with the whitey African warlord? And Lucas is like, well, you know, he makes me happy and yada yada yada, and like Sonny never pays for crimes. When has white East African warlord paid for a single thing that he's done that you acknowledge that he's done? Like, you say that you believe all these people, so that means you believe that he chained Lucky to a poker table. Lucky, your fucking cousin, Lucky. You think that he chained Lucky to a poker table, you don't care. He tried to kill Jason, Anna, Holly, Isaiah. Now, maybe you don't give a fuck about Jason because he put Latino's son in that room, but you acknowledge that that shit happened. You acknowledge that he tried to blow up fucking Sasha in the warehouse. You acknowledge that he's probably the one. Now, we, the audience, know that he did it, but that he's probably the one who blew up Charlie's. What one of those things has he paid for? But because Sonny's been on the show longer, you choose to be mad at him? Lucas just wants to be mad at Sonny and Carly for existing and making it harder for him to date the Latino son of this white East African warlord. Be so fucking serious, Lucas. Be so fucking serious. Because like I said, doesn't have this energy for Liz, who's kind of like, well, what if Carly's right? What if Carly's right? Be so fucking serious. Liz has to literally tell Lucas, like, I'm gonna be so serious with you right now. I feel like you might be backing the wrong horse, betting on White East African Warlord against Sunny. I think you should try to be Switzerland in this bullshit. I think you need to be the most neutral ass bitch in town right now because, like, I've seen this. I've been on this show for more than 30, like almost 30 years. Almost 30 years. I ain't never seen nobody take out Sunny. Sunny will be the victor of this storyline. And so the best you can hope for is to just be able to tell your family that you didn't support any of the shit that was happening at Windermere when you lived there. That's the best you could do. And so think about this. Be smart about this. And so that's pretty much all Spy Hospital. That's pretty much all Spy Hospital. We're not gonna see Lucas for the rest of this podcast. Like, the main reason that these two storylines were separate when I probably could have just told this all together is because this is the only thing that these people talk about. Like, Black Hospital is only concerned with like random who shot Drew nonsense. And then Spy Hospital is only concerned with who Lucas currently lives with, to be honest. Where when we go to this storyline, it's 4 storylines this week. I don't know why I said 3. But when we go to Delusional Hospital, it's a little bit more fleshed out. It's a little bit more fleshed out, a lot more moving pieces. Not as many as the final storyline, which y'all already know. If I'm at Delusional Hospital, y'all know that Rocco's Hospital is the last one. That's just getting wild. But let's go to Delusional Hospital. So Willow goes back to Drew's. She moved out of Liz's house, and she looks disgusted. Can we just say that? She looks disgusted to be there. I don't know if it's because she just hates this man or because she actually shot him. Please tell me she shot him. Please tell me she shot him. He is too confident that she didn't shoot him, and this is the only way to crack his face. No one else cracks his face. Maybe Scout, but I don't think they have the gumption to make it Scout. I don't think they have the wherewithal to deal with the fallout of it being Scout. Where, like, Willow's easy fallout. They're just gonna say that she cracked and that, she gotta go to Shady Brook and not Pentonville. Like, let's be so fucking serious. But I needed to be Willow just because of how she was acting in these scenes. So Willow is acting super uncomfortable to be at this house. She don't want to be here. It's very clear. Drew is like, so do you not want to be with me? What's the problem? Willow's like, what's the problem? Somebody tried to kill you in this house. Last time I was here, I had just found out that you fucked my mom. Like, I don't have good connotations with this house, but also this our house. We're going to raise our family together and I want to be here with you, bro. She can't keep the right energy. She can't keep the right energy, and I feel like it's acting choice from Katie. Like, I feel like Katie really wants us to know that Willow don't fuck with this man. That, she's not blindly stupid. She understands who he is. I need this storyline to conclude. I think that's the biggest issue, is that they won't end it. They feel like it's the best, most interesting storyline on the canvas. It's not anymore. It's not. And I know during the summer when they were trying to set up what would become Rocco's hospital, I was like, no one gives a shit about this. No one cares about Britt at an Evil Sandals resort. Well, now we do. Now we do. The setup is done, and now we're in the storyline, and that's the most interesting storyline. And I would love to focus on it 100%, but you will not just tell us who shot Drew. They won't tell us. And so now Katie's got to do extra acting with her face and her body language to let us know that she hates this man and she doesn't want to be around him. Then stop making her be around him. Just tell us that she shot him, to be honest. To be honest. But Drew decides to propose to Willow. Oh my god. It was so awkward because he proposed to her with Lila's ring. The one he stole. The one he stole. The one that Michael gave her She was like, I'm gonna finally take it off, even though she'd been wearing it their entire fucking relationship because she, quote, didn't want to confuse her kids by not wearing it. Make it make sense. You didn't think it was confusing to your kids to live with their uncle, get your back blown out by him? Like you sharing a bed with him? You didn't think that was fucking weird? Like, but he proposes with Lila's ring. And she says yes after protesting way too much about it. Like, protesting way too much about it. And he doesn't take this as she does not want to fucking be with you. That this is all just an act. This is an act to get out of jail and to get her kids back. And I don't know if this is like a writing choice. Like, oh, we wrote most of the Drillo story as him manipulating her. So now we're going to write this as her manipulating him. They both suck. They both suck. And it doesn't help either one of them to be manipulated by the other. What would help both of them is for you to end this fucking storyline. That's what would help both of them. Just, if you want my advice, GH writers, end this. Hurry the fuck up. Like, just end it. You could still have Drew be evil. You could still have Dark Willow. But having them locked in this back and forth in this toxic, destructive fucking cycle that's taking out multiple characters every fucking like cyclical round we go is actually getting annoying. It's getting annoying because it's one thing when they're just destroying each other. Now they're taking out Chaylin, they're taking out Michael, Alexis is being dragged into it, Black fucking Hospital can't get away from it. Like, come on. Just end it. Just tell us who did it. Just tell us who did it. You are losing the goodwill of the audience so fast. Dragging this shit out. This is not who shot JR. This is nowhere near that storyline. And so move the fuck on. Because they literally had Stella in Wednesday's episode say that, like, people want you shot again. Like, I'm not surprised if someone else takes another shot at you. Because the gunshot did nothing to tame Drew. Right? Drew is still like, he became a bigger asshole post gunshot. And that's another thing. Like, I feel like, and this is not a knock to my mom because I love my mom. She's, she's Southern. If that's like, for any Southerners out there, like maybe you know this, but she's Southern. She's sweet. She likes to do things for people. She's just like a giver. And, if I tell her I like something, she will buy me that forever. She'll buy, like, if I'm like, oh my God, I really like this one soup, she'll just buy 1,000 cans of that one soup. To the point where, like, no, I was just saying I like the soup. I don't need to eat it every day of my life now. Like, we don't need to have a lifetime supply of this soup in the cabinet. But, like, that's how I feel GH has, like, turned this Who Shot Drew storyline. I think that we saw two really big occurrences happen, like, right around this summer. It was very clear that the writers have understood that Drew is the villain of whatever story. Because, like, I can understand if you're writing a story and you don't intend for this character to be the villain, but the audience takes them as the villain. And that's maybe what happened with Drew in regards to Michael and Mob Hospital and all that. That, like, maybe they did really write this for us to, like, root for Drew and Willow to be together because Michael and Mob Hospital are trash. Unfortunately, that's not how the audience took it. Especially because of how the Drillo affair played out. I think that the writers of soaps in general lean way too much on physical cheating and not emotional cheating. That, like, we see this happening with Black Hospital between, like, Curtis, Portia, and Jordan, that they want to sort of emphasize that Portia's the real cheater because she slept with Isaiah one time, even though Curtis has been having an emotional affair with Jordan since Portia and him got married, essentially. Like, since they got married, you literally had Curtis say, I've never stopped loving Jordan, which means that you've been cheating on your wife for your entire marriage. Um, they really wanted to lean on this idea that just because Drew and Willow weren't physically intimate, that what they were doing wasn't infidelity. It was. It was, though. Like, just because soaps in the 80s wouldn't take it as infidelity, soaps in 2025 understand emotional affairs as infidelities. In some cases, those are worse than physical affairs. And that is the case when it comes to Michael and Sasha. That these two people were drunk, they fell into bed together, they were both dealing with very traumatic issues at the time. Like, Michael just found out about the emotional affair his wife was having with his uncle. Sasha just found out that her boyfriend was her cousin, if y'all remember that. And they slept together. And that's how we get Daisy, right? This is not the result of some years-long emotional affair where Michael was still harboring feelings for Sasha this entire time behind Willow's back. That's what they had Willow do to Drew, and it damned that relationship because it colored everything the audience saw about it. And then, of course, Chad Duell left the role. They had to take Michael off the canvas. They injure him dramatically in this, like, explosion at Sonny's house. I think they really thought that the audience would blame Sonny for that. They don't, because why would they? He didn't blow up his own house. Like, the danger's always been there. And so the only answer for Sonny to not be dangerous is for him to not be on the show. And so most people understand that, like, unless Sonny legitimately provokes someone and that leads to violence, the audience is not going to really blame Sonny for the violence that surrounds his life, because we've been watching this man for 32 years. 32. They squarely blame Whitey's African warlord. They've never even confirmed that he's the one who did that. But people were already blaming him. And so you have them having this disgusting emotional affair that really culminates in them having a physical affair in the nursery where her children play on the actual day Sam dies. And, like, that is the excuse for why they did it. That Sam is dead, and this gives us the right to have sex in this nursery where Sam's children fucking play. And we're supposed to be like, oh my God, I support this. This is so beautiful and magical, right? So skip forward to about May, June of 2025, because obviously them sleeping together that first time was October 31st, 2024. Skip forward to almost summer 2025. The show decides that Drew is a villain. Finally, right? And so they start having him do villainous things. They shoot him in the middle of the summer. Everyone's losing it. Everyone's like, yes, I know that I can go back to old Port Misery episodes from this year, and I'm praising Cameron Matheson, and I'm still praising him. I'm still praising him because his performance is great. But I'm praising him that they're, like, leaning into this villainry, he's giving Adam Chandler, and I love the whole Who Shot Drew storyline, right? I made tier lists. I was excited. Let's go. It's gonna be December tomorrow. It's December tomorrow. And not only have we not resolved this, we don't even know who did it. This is actually outlandish at this point. This is what I mean when I say they have wasted all of the goodwill that they built up a few months back. They wasted it all on dragging the story out past its natural expiration date. We all thought this was going to get resolved by the custody case that was supposed to be in September or October, something like that. Now we're about to be in December, and we're still not resolved. We're still not resolved. Once again, we're in this cyclical pattern where we're back to Drew and Willow being fucking engaged. Are you kidding me? How did we get back here? This is the pattern we were in before he got shot. This is annoying. Just tell us who did it. Just tell us who did it. Tell us that Willow did it. If she didn't do it, take the slings and arrows of us being pissed. Because like I said, anyone else doing this except for maybe Scout is not going to have the desired result you want either in the show or from the audience. Because even if people think that he deserved to be shot, this is not about what the audience thinks should happen or even what other characters. This is about what Drew thinks should happen. And so the main focus should be how do we crack Drew's face and make him actually think about the consequences of his actions. This doesn't require a massive reverting to his old boring GMA3 host character, right? You can still keep him as this Adam Chandler-esque asshole character that other characters on the show now have to deal with. However, this storyline is tiring. It's tiring. People don't want to see it. People don't want to see. And like I said, the main thing that makes me believe that it has to be Willow and we're close to a resolution, hopefully, is that he's back to being overly confident. He's back to being overly confident. He's inviting people to things. He's getting in their face. He's threatening them again. So hopefully, but I don't know. I don't know. And I'm getting annoyed. And so, like I said, he proposed. She said yes. After protesting way too much, but she says yes. She takes this ring. That was the ring that Michael gave her. This act is both offensive. It's offensive to Willow because so she's not worth you getting her a new ring. And I don't even mean a new ring from like this one. Also a new ring from the other ring that you supposedly got her when you proposed the first time. Actually, I need a separate ring. I need a third fucking ring. Cause I don't want this ring. I don't want the ring that Michael gave me. I hate this fool. I think that he is framing me for murder, supposedly. He won't let me see my kids. So I don't want this fucking ring from his ass. But it's also offensive, obviously, to Michael, but that is the point with Drew and Willow to like ding him. It's also cheap as hell. Cause why are you giving me this hand-me-down ring that was mine already? Like, this not even like a family heirloom because you're not a part of this family. This family don't even like you. This family don't like you. And so it's not a family heirloom. This is a cheap hand-me-down fucking ring and I don't want it. I don't want it, bruh. I don't want it. And so whatever, that happens. I'm sorry, I just went into a whole rant. So let me move on. That happens. Willow goes to tell Liz and like that she's marrying Drew again or trying to marry him again. She hasn't married him before, but she's gonna go try and marry him again on Thanksgiving. Liz is like, okay, and she's like, will you be my maid of honor? And she's like, okay, and Michael overhears. We'll get to Michael in a second. But let's go over to the Westbournes. So Liesl called Nina to help her about Rocco, even though what's Nina supposed to do? Like, what's this fashion magazine gonna do? But Nina says that, like, no. Like, ask Lulu. She's the world-class reporter. Lulu's a world-class reporter? Okay, when did that happen? She been in a coma for 4 years. Like, she had just started out before she went into the coma. Now she a world-class. Now she Christiane Amanpour? Whatever. Dina's like, I can't do that. Actually, like, let's all talk about Willow and how annoying she is. And they just have this annoying conversation about Willow and about how it's their fault that Willow's in jail. When is it Willow's fault? Like, when is it Willow's fault? Cause like Lisa's like, it's your fault because you gave her that shitty ass alibi and you reneged on it. And Nina's like, nah, it's your fault because you convinced me that she did it when she didn't do it. And Lisa's like, to be honest, I still think she did that shit. I'm not gonna lie, I just don't give a fuck. Like, I don't give a fuck. If she shot that man or stole that baby, like, I don't care. I just don't, I don't want her to go to jail, but I still think she did it. This is very funny. And then Nina decides to tell Liesel that she feels bad for throwing Portia under the bus. She doesn't tell her that it's Portia, but she's like, I just feel bad because, turns out Michael's alibi is probably falling apart. Is it though? Is it? Because Chase already took all this shit to Alexis and Alexis said, fuck all that. I'm not dealing with that. I got Sonny Corinthos baby mama brigade duties to attend to, so I can't do that. So did it, but whatever. We'll find out next week. We'll find out next week what's happening with Michael and his alibi. But they're talking about that. Ava shows up, tells them about Britt's shenanigans over at Rocco's hospital that we'll talk about in a second. And then Drew comes over to tell them about the engagement. Okay. Okay. So Liesel, hearing about this, goes to see Willow to try to mend things between her and Nina. Now, Willow is like, I just try every time I let her in my life, she disappoints me. Da, 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 da. Liesel's like, you're being a fucking ingrate. Like, let me just be so fucking real with you. You're being an ingrate because you do fucked up shit all the time. And your mom stands 10 toes down behind you every single time you fuck up. But every time she fucks up, all you do is blame her. Even when she apologizes, even when she admits it. You're just like, see, told you you were ain't shit, bitch. And so, girl, who's the bad family member? Like, you talking about Nina bad at family. You the one who's bad at family. Nina shows up. Nina shows up. Will's like, oh my God, you're trying to like ambush me? Nina's like, oh, this is a bad idea. And they kind of make up in the dumbest way possible. The only thing I have is that Willow being an ingrate makes Nina look better. Right? Because Nina's so genuine about all this, and Willow still seems like she's scheming. She still seems like she's scheming, and she still sounds like a fucking ingrate. Like, I'm not gonna say that it'll be like it was last time. Girl, fuck you then. Girl, fuck you then. How about that? How about that? But I guess they make up, and Nina says she gonna go to this wedding. All right, cool. So let's go over to Michael. So Michael was on his little grand sympathy tour. This time he's stopping at GH. Now last week he was on his sympathy tour with Brooklyn. Like, let me help you get back together. That also happened at GH. He doing all his simping at GH. I kind of love it. But Michael back at GH to get more sympathy. This time from Liz. And so he goes to see Liz. He's like, hey, I'm here for my appointment for my burns that when have we seen a single burn on Michael? Like, have we seen Michael shirtless? I feel like we've seen Rory shirtless. Let me know in the comments. We've seen Rory shirtless on the show, right? What burns? Where are the burns? But he's like, I'm here for my burn treatment. My invisible burns, my emotional fucking burns. We'll say that. He got emotional burns. He's from Bob Hospital and Monica's Hospital and White Trash Hospital with the Spencers. So, like, he got a lot going on. But he's like looking around. Liz is like, so Willow's not here. She was put on administrative leave for being accused of attempted murder. That's so funny. And so Michael is just like, you're such a good friend for letting her stay with you, even though she's a mess. Like, I just want you to know, girl, you a real one. And Liz is like, so yeah, she's not staying with me. She moved back in with Drew. And Michael's like, oh, well, she's a dumb bitch. What can we say? And then Liz is like, I feel like she only did it because she feels like it's the best way to either, not go to jail or not, or to see her kids. And like, maybe you could like help her with that. Michael's like, nah. I'm sorry that she's struggling. I'm sorry that she's going through it. But every time I think about her struggling, I think about me struggling when I was over in Germany, getting my burns treated. Right? When I had actual burns more than just emotional burns, when I had physical burns. That's what I think about. And you know what that bitch did? Nothing. She did nothing. She was busy getting her back blown out by my fucking uncle still wearing my ring. And so, sorry, girl. Sorry you're suffering. But it sucks to suck, doesn't it? Liz is like, I don't know. Well, okay, Liz. Okay, Liz. And so that's like I said. Then Willow shows up. Michael overhears it. So now he already pissed. He's like, great. Great. So she's extra A shit, bitch. Good to know. Good to know. So Michael goes home and immediately gets into it with Chase. Now Chase is talking about he want to try and make Thanksgiving dinner. I hope like now I know it's a running gag on GH for dinner to suck. Keep that up. Keep that up. Chase cannot be the person that fixes Thanksgiving, not even with the help of Monica's ghost, because fuck him. Like, you are not going to try and rehabilitate Harrison Chase on Thanksgiving dinner. As far as my headcanon will go, if he gets a turkey on the table, if they have stuffing on Thanksgiving, he ruined Thanksgiving because the Quartermains have pizza. The Quartermains have pizza on Thanksgiving. They don't have pizza any other time of year, only on Thanksgiving. And so if he ruins this 30-year tradition, that's him ruining more shit. It will not get him goodwill, not on my podcast. And so he's talking about he wants to try and make Thanksgiving. And so Michael comes in. Brooklyn's like, hey, do you want to help us try and do Thanksgiving? Because, Thanksgiving. Michael's like, why? Why? We're just going to have pizza. Like, that's what we do on Thanksgiving. Brooklyn's like, well, Chase wants to try and make a turkey. Like, you can help us. And Michael's like, no. Why would I want to help him? Why would he want to be in a kitchen with knives with me? Since he thinks I'm a fucking murderer. And he's working overtime, taking overtime, unpaid hours, put me in jail. Why would I want to help him? And then Chase is like, I'm not going to apologize for trying to put you in jail. Cool, bruh. Cool. I'm not going to help you make fucking yams and marshmallows. Let's talk about it. I don't want any cranberry sauce from you. You old bitch. And so Chase is like, look, I know that Willow couldn't have done it, so who else could it be? And Michael's like, well, if you know Willow so well, then you know that she marrying Drew on Thanksgiving, right? And Chase's face cracked. Cracked. Brooklyn is disgusted. She's like, what an A-shit bitch. What an A-shit bitch. She sucks. She fucking sucks. And Michael's like, right? Right? Tell me why Chase fixes his face to be like it was Drew's idea. Like that wasn't Willow's idea. Even Brooklyn has to turn around and be like, huh? What? What? Michael's like, oh, it's Drew's idea, but she just said yes. She just went along with it all. I don't know why, but it's his fault. He's like, well, she had no choice. Michael's like, what are you talking about? The other choice was no. No, I don't want to marry this evil man who does fucked up things to our family. And she is Brooklyn is like, I am so sorry that she's doing this to you. This is fucked up. Because Michael had told her that like Drew proposed with Lila's ring, the ring that he gave her. And so Brooklyn was like, my guy, I'm so sorry. That shit sucks. And Michael's like, it does suck, but it don't even matter because I don't fucking care about her. I don't care about her. She could live forever or she could die this very second, and that don't have nothing to do with me. I'm just gonna go kick it with my kids. Bye. And so he leaves. Chase gets all mad. Chase is like, I thought you thought Michael was guilty. Brooklyn is like, I did until I remember he was my fucking family, and family does things for family, and he helped me talk to Gio, unlike you. And now I was ready for this to be a Chaylin fight, but no. No. Because why would they let Brooklyn have an opinion about this? Like, why would they let Shaylin have actual storyline based off of this? It just gets diverted when Brooklyn tells him that Gio called her mom. Now all of a sudden he's like, yeah, you right. I forgot that Michael could be kind and considerate when he's not a murderer. Okay, Chase. And then they hug. Okay. Okay. Great. The only other thing to do with like Delusional Hospital and Drew being shot specifically is you have Dante and Nathan talking about it because Dante knows that Chase is using all this overtime, unpaid hours to investigate Michael. And so Dante's like, look, Nathan, get in here. Let's do some due diligence and look at other suspects besides Willow. And so Nathan at first is like, why me? Why don't you just let Chase do it? Didn't he do the case the first time? Dante's like, can't trust Chase. Can't trust Chase. He's an ancient bitch. He goes over his own biases. He's like, obviously, I'm biased toward my brother because I don't want him to be guilty. But if he is, I'll throw his ass in jail. I got a problem with it, unlike Chase and Willow. And then Nathan was like, well, Willow's my niece. So wouldn't that be the same issue? Dante's like, you don't even know her. You don't know her. And I feel like you'd have zero problems throwing her ass in jail if she needed to be in jail. So no, sit down. And so they start going through it. They go through all the alibis. They go through like how Carly, she seems like she'd be down to clown this way, but she got the Pikeman alibi, even though no one believes it. They talk about, you know, how dumb Nina is for giving that alibi. And then they end up going back to Curtis and how, you know, even though it doesn't seem like he got a strong motive, they just don't know all the tea about Black Hospital. They don't know how deep Black Hospital is in the Drew shenanigans. And so that's pretty much Delusional Hospital. Sorry for that long ass rant about why it's trash. But I feel like it's apt at this point. I feel like it's apt. It's crazy to me that we might go into 2026 not knowing who shot this man. Like it's who shot JR. Get the fuck out of here. This is not Dallas. This is not Dallas. All right, this is General Hospital. Get with the getting. Move the fuck on. And so, speaking of moving on, let's go over to the main story. And it is, of course, Rocco's hospital. Yes, because Rocco is in juvie. He's in juvie, and everyone is crashing out because of it. Everyone's crashing out. Like Laura crashing out, Sonny crashing out, them kids are crashing out, everybody crashing out, Britt's crashing out, everybody's crashing out because Rocco is in juvie. And so let's start with Jabrit real quick because I'm sick of them. I'm sick of them. I saw in the spoilers for next week that they're like putting Britt and Cody back in each other's orbit for reasons. I don't think they're gonna do Britt and Cody because I think they do want to do Cody and Molly, but like I think they want to give Britt options because Jabrit be so messy. Jabrit is so messy and she's so rude to his ass. And like, yes, Jason's very stoic, so he doesn't take it as personally as other characters probably would. But also, there's only so long you could do that because the Jabrit fucking back and forth has been going on as long as Who Shot Drew, and that's just getting annoying. That's just getting annoying. Have them be together or don't. Let them be together or don't let them be together, but do something. This is a shit or get off the pot moment at this point. But Jason comes back to see Britt because, like, obviously last week he was with Britt, but then he got the call from Sonny about Kane from Y&R being dead in Laura's trunk. And so he's like, yeah, girl, Mob Hospital calls. I gotta go. And so now she's shut back down. She's just like, well, you always gonna put Mob Hospital before me. Girl, if you want to be with Jason Morgan, you better be prepared to be put second behind Mob Hospital. What are we talking about? Like, I don't understand what she wants from his ass. He came right back. He came right back. He went and disappeared a body, got a car detail, came right back. But she's just like, yada, 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 song and dance. He brings up that she's sick. She says she's in remission. He kind of clocked her tea. He kind of clocked her tea when he was like, so were you at the Evil Sandals Resort to stay in remission? Is that what's going on, girl? Clock that tea, Jason. Clock it. But that don't even matter because Nathan showed up to be like, hey, you heard from Kane from R&R because them little kids told me that they broke into his lab with the key fob from your purse. So obviously you know his ass. So where is he? She's like, I don't know. I don't know. And so he goes back to tell Horny DA. Horny DA now believes what everybody's pretty much been telling her, which is that Kane from Y&R ain't shit. And that he trashed that lab himself and he just used her to look stupid. And so Kane from Y&R has disappeared. That's all Law and Order Hospital knows is that man disappeared, but they're not automatically thinking foul play because he crashed out. and lied on the mayor and Sonny Corinthos' grandson. And so now there's this like universe of like, well, he lied on this person who's so connected, realized after the crash out that he's in fact crashed out and decided to just hop a plane back to Australia. Now, I don't think that protects him. Like, it might protect you from Laura, but it does not protect you from Sonny. And so, we put our bigger thinking cap on. We would still think maybe Sonny killed him, even though we know Sonny didn't. But now everybody is just sort of operating under the assumption that he took off because he made a false statement. And so Nathan tells Horny DA and Dante that they can't find Kane from YNR. Dante's like, hell nah. Hell nah. He not about to have my son thrown in juvie and then bounce the fuck out. Go find his ass. Go find his ass. I'm not gonna lie, I be forgetting that Dante's the commissioner. I just feel like Anna's somewhere off screen still running shit, even though I know she's on lockdown. But like Dante as the commissioner was like, hell no. Hell no, go find his ass. And so they go to do that. Laura is over at her office crashing the fuck out. Crashing the fuck out. She goes into her office. Sonny just standing there. She's like, oh my God, Sonny, what are you doing? Should we be seen together? Girl, you weren't worried about being seen with Sonny when you were up for re-election. You weren't worried about being seen with this mobster when it could have cost you everything. And now that you've got another 4 years, now you worried about being seen with them? Girl, you crashing out. You crashing out. Sonny has to be like, look, obviously we're friends. You pretty much campaigned on your friendship with me. And we share a grandson who's currently in juvie. So it's not out of the realm of possibilities that we be talking to each other. So I'm just going to stay here and talk to you. How did you like your car? Sonny, why are you asking her about her detail job? Like, so did you like it? We did a good job, right? Bruh. And Laura's like, yeah, I didn't look in the trunk though. And Sonny's like, why? There's no body in your trunk. Like, we got rid of that shit. Don't even trip about that. And then Laura, like I said, starts crashing out. And she's like, well, maybe there should be a body. Like, maybe you should just get the body, put it back in my trunk, and then I'll call the cops. What? Laura. Laura Collins. Laura Vining, Weber, Baldwin, Spencer, Cassadine, Spencer again, fucking Baldwin that one time, maybe Spencer a third time, I'm not sure, Baldwin again, Collins. No, we not going to find this body, put it back in your trunk so you could call the fucking cops when you should have called them last night. Girl, be so fucking serious. Be so fucking serious. And that's what Sonny says. Sonny is like, no. Like, that body long gone. We dumped that body in the dip for fucking Who Framed Roger Rabbit. There ain't nobody, okay? So, like, all you need to do is act surprised when Dante come tell you that Kane from YNR is missing. That's all you need to do. And so they're talking about that. Here comes Martin. Martin comes in with some flowers to be a hater. And so he sees Sonny. He's like, wow. This what you doing? You almost lost the election because of this man. How? How did Sonny almost cost her the election when they just reelected her and let him keep his peers at the same time? How did Sonny almost cost her this election when she campaigned on being besties with this mobster? What are you talking about, Martin? You almost cost her this campaign working for white East African warlord, a creepy council person, and fucking Drew. That's what almost cost her this election, way more than Sonny. But he's just going on and on and on. I don't understand why they've given Martin this storyline of him just irrationally hating Sonny when he's out here literally working for Drew Chandler. Like, are we serious? You tried to get creepy council person put in the mayor's office. You inadvertently work for white East African warlord, but it's Sonny. That's the problem. Martin and Lucas are so dumb. Martin and Lucas are so dumb. Because, like, how are you talking about Sonny and simultaneously working for and living with white East African warlord? Okay. Okay. And so Laura is like, so I don't want to hear this shit from you when you literally just got caught trying to steal Tracy Quartermain's inheritance. He's like, I was writing an injustice. She was like, no, you weren't. No, you fucking weren't. What are you talking about? And then he's still trying to cap or is he still trying to read Sonny and be like, you gotta be smarter than this? And he tries to compare Sonny to Cyrus. Laura's not having none of that. And then she goes back to remember that this is White East African Warlord coming for her. To be honest, and Martin himself was helping White East African Warlord on the Measure C shit. And so Laura's like, yeah, okay, sure, I'm gonna keep my eyes and ears open about Sonny. Get out of my office. Get out of my office. And so the next time we see Martin, he's over with his evil fucking Legion of Doom that he works for, Drew. A mess. A mess. And so then we go see, like, let's talk about Rocco being in juvie for a second. So Rocco is in juvie. Dante goes to visit him and tell him that Danny and Charlotte are crashing out for him. Rocco's like, no, what's the fucking point of me doing all this if they're gonna crash out? Dante's like, look, I hear you, son. And I felt the same way. I was like, no, why the fuck would they do that? But at this point, you in here for a felony, and so we can't have you in here. We can't have you having a felony on your record. And so if they can clear you, then that's what we're gonna do. And so Rocco's like, okay, Dante leaves. The next time we see Rocco is when Sonny comes to see him, and he had his ass beat from the head to the feet. From the head to the feet. Sonny is pissed. Like, the guard's trying to be like, what do you mean? Like, everything's funny. Sonny's like, shut up, you old bitch. I'll tell you what the fuck is fine. Like, you gonna tell me who did this to my grandson right now. So were you there? Were you watching it happen? What's your name? And like, it's a whole thing. Rocco tries to be like, no, it's fine. Sonny's like, I need you to go back into this juvie and tell people you my grandson, right? Tell people you're my grandson. If they put their hands on you, it's like they putting their hands on me. They put their hands on you, they putting their hands on me, and they don't want to put their hands on me. Because I'm not the one. Rocco's like, I don't want to stand behind you. Sonny's like, you're not standing behind me. You're standing with me. Welcome to Mob Hospital, grandson. I didn't want you in here, all right? I did not want you anywhere near Mob Hospital. I was like, if you got to be at Law and Order Hospital, fine. But unfortunately, you now at Mob Hospital. So you're not standing behind me, you're standing with me. And what people are not going to do is they're not going to put their hands on my fucking grandson. I can't have it. Right? And so he leaves Rocco, goes immediately to see the horny DA cuss her ass out. Cuss her straight out. Like, bitch, what the fuck is this? What is this? Why my grandson if someone beat his ass from the head to the foot? From the head to the feet, bitch. She's like, what? Oh my God. But then immediately is like, what you want me to do? What you want me to do? I'm following the law. I'm following the law. Like, what do you want me to do? He's like, you following the law? The law, bitch? Really? Because you know that man's a lying ass piece of shit. You know that came from YNR ain't shit. You know that he trashed that lab himself. But yeah, here we are. Here we are. My grandson's in juvie getting his ass beat from the head to the feet. Girl. And so at that point, she lets it slip that came from R&R is missing. Sonny is just like, what? Kay's what? He's missing. That's crazy. I can't believe that. Laura had done the same thing. Dante had come in to tell Laura that came from Y&R was missing, and she was like, oh my God, I am so shocked by Laura and Sonny are the duo I didn't realize I needed. I mean, I was saying I liked it earlier this year, but now that they're actually covering up murders together, it's so funny. It's so funny. Give me more of them. But both of them had to act shocked, respectively, when they found out that Kane from YNR was missing. And so Sonny's with horny DA. He's like, okay, so what's the problem? Let my grandson out. That man's a liar. He ran away because he's lying ass bitch. He's afraid of Law and Order Hospital consequences and Mob Hospital consequences, I'm sure. And so what's the problem? She's still on some like, well, I gotta follow the letter of the law. I gotta do what I gotta do. Da, 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 da. right? Okay. So word spreads quickly that Rocco got his ass beat from the head to the feet. And so Nathan goes to tell Lulu. Lulu is bringing Charlotte to talk to Alexis with Danny. Jason and Laura were there too, but to talk to them about their statement to exonerate Rocco. Nathan is like, "You gotta come with me, Lulu. Rocco needs you." She goes to see Rocco. Rocco is fucked up. So she's worried. Nathan is like, "I'm gonna be so real with y'all. The fact that he is both the police commissioner's son and the resident mob boss's grandson is not great for Rocco. It's not great for him. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it all on the line because I'm just a friendly ghost anyway. Who cares if I lose my job? But I'm going to put it all on the line and I'm going to get his ass out of here because fuck all that. Fuck all that. And so they end up getting Rocco out on bail. Well, they didn't even get him out on bail yet. Nathan took his ass to the PCPD. He said he could wait in the Jason Morgan Memorial Interrogation Room for a bail hearing because he def not staying here. Godfather of the Year. Godfather of the Year. Right? Are they about to do Lulu and Nathan? I don't know. If they're about to be doing Lulu and Nathan, I might not be that upset about it. Because like I feel like I have certain friends who be like, absolutely not. I have Naxi agendas, and so we can't have it. But if they did like Lulu and Nathan, Maxie and Spinelli, Dante and Brooklyn, Michael and random sex worker, because she's growing on me. Chase and a 1-bedroom apartment and his wine subscription by himself in the unemployment line. And then of course Willow and Shady Brook. I need that pairing. Drew and a coma, right? Drew in a coma, so I can have a little break from evil Drew. He can still wake up evil. I'm fine with that, but just a little break from him. That's all I'm saying. But if we're doing that, I'm down for that. I'm down for that, right? But Rocco ends up at the interrogation room with the PCPD. These kids, Danny and Charlotte, they need their ass beat from the head to the feet at this point. Because I'm sick of these two. These are some hard-headed ass kids. They live to lie. They live to be chaotic and lie to their parents. Like they do not understand the situation that they're in. They both think they're smarter than all the adults that are involved, which in certain cases might be true. It's not in this case. Not in this case, because y'all sound dumb. And so they're trying to give their version of events. Danny lie and say that came from mine and I punched Rocco in the stomach. Be so fucking serious. Be so fucking serious. Laura was with Rocco in the immediate aftermath of that happening, and she knows that he wasn't punched. She knows that he wasn't punched. We don't need you to do all this. We do not need y'all to do all this. Like, and they're trying to be all like, we'll scare them straight. We'll be nice about it. No, cuss them out. Be like, listen, we don't need you to do all this. The problem with y'all is that you think you know better than everybody else. You know better than the law. You know better than your parents. You know better than Alexis, the fucking lawyer. And you think that you know what we need when all we literally need you to say is that this lab was a trash. We don't need you to make things up. We don't need you to lie. We don't need you to say that he was assaulted. He was doing child abuse. We just need you to say that Rocco didn't trash this fucking lab. That's all we need you to say. And they're still like, no, that's my story. I'm sticking to it. Beat their ass. That's all I'm saying. I was thinking they're both old enough. They can try to fight back if they want to. They will lose. Like, Lulu, I think you got it in you. You know, you got Sam's liver or whatever. And so beat Charlotte's ass. And Jason come beat your son's ass. Because who is he talking to like this? Jason don't even want his son to confess. And Danny talking about not just confessing, but lying to the police. I'll slap the shit out of you, son. I'll slap the shit out of you. It comes from a place of love. It comes from me loving you, but I'll beat your ass in this house, in Lulu's house. I don't give a fuck. But Laura, Jason, and Alexis go outside to talk. They're like, listen, they lying. We can't have this. What the fuck is this? Alexis goes in and is like, don't do this. Don't fucking do this. This is out of pocket. Laura and Jason are outside. Laura is like, came from 1R, disappeared. He's never coming back. Jason's like, we don't know anything about that. We don't know anything about that. Don't talk about that. Right? Don't even worry about that. Because we didn't do that. Who did that? Where'd that man go? We don't know him. He's lying ass bitch. That's all we need to, that's the energy we need to have, Laura. And so after that, Laura goes away. We don't see her anymore. Next time we see Jason with Lulu, and Lulu asking Jason if Sonny did that shit. And Jason's like, I can 1,000% tell you that Sonny did not kill Kane from YNO. With 100% certainty, I can tell you that Sonny did not do that shit. And so Lulu's like, bet. Excuse me. Last thing that we want to talk about is the Brit of this situation. So Brit went to go see Rocco, and she shows up after he's already had his ass beat, and she loses it. She's just like, oh, hell no. Like, what the fuck is this? Demands first aid kit so she can give him medical treatment, which I did not mind. She a doctor. So, yeah, look him over, because the juvie clearly wasn't trying to look him over. They weren't even giving him a tissue. Still had blood running down his face. It was crazy. But they let her clean him up. He apologizes to her for stealing the key fob. He was like, obviously, I broke your trust. We're just starting to know each other. Like, I'm so sorry about that. She's like, I don't want you to worry about that. That shit don't matter anymore. I'm gonna get you out of here. This crazy. Like, bet. Just hold on. And so she leaves, goes to see White East African Warlord. Now, he is over with Ava, like, who's trying to sell him art and throw her pussy at him. What happened to Lucy? What happened to Lucy Cole? I thought Lucy Cole was throwing her pussy at him. What's going on? But now it's Ava. Okay. You know what, though? If Ava's going to do one thing, it's going to be on the wrong side of a fucking storyline, right? Like, she loved to be on the wrong side of a mob hospital fucking storyline. And so how long before he's got her ass tied up in a building with a bomb in it, and mob hospital got to rescue her ass too? Whatever. But they're flirting when Britt busts in, like, bruh, I gotta talk to you. I gotta talk to you right now. Now, White East African Warlord is like, bitch, I don't want to talk to you. I'm busy. I got a guest here. Britt, in a baller move, I'm just gonna give her credit. In a baller move, she was like, so I need to talk to you right fucking now. And you need to send Ava away or let her stay and fucking listen. It's up to you, bruh. And so he gets Ava the fuck out of there. That's when she goes to see Nina, tell her about the Brit shenanigans, like I said. And so Britt is like, you need to get my not son out this fucking juvenile detention center. I can't fucking have it. I cannot have it. People putting their hands on him. He's in trouble. White East African Warlord's like, oh, people are putting his hands on him. That's interesting. Wonder how that happened. And then Britt realizes that he sent the people after him. Now, when I was watching this live, I made a joke. Like, did White East African Warlord send, like, a group of wayward juvenile delinquents to go beat Rocco's ass from the head to the feet in juvie? I said this as a joke, only for the show to confirm this, like, 5 minutes later, when he was like, I have a very long reach, and I told you to straighten up and fly right, or I'll not just come for you, I'll come for everyone you love, bitch. And it's just a bonus that my enemies, like Sonny and Laura, care about his ass too. And they'll learn to get their shit in line and act right around me, or I'm gonna come after their grandson. And I'm like, damn, White East African Warlord is unchained. White East African Warlord don't give a fuck. He's threatening everybody. He's threatening everybody from grandmas to children. He don't give a fuck. Like, it is so funny that we're still putting on the facade that he's not an ancient person, that Jordan's like, well, I just can't find anything about him. Like, maybe he is a good person. Jordan, you suck. Jordan, you suck. I want you to be a secretary at the end of the storyline. You don't get to work in the mayor's office or the PCPD because you actually suck. Like, but that's pretty much all that happened this week. If I forgot some stuff, my bad. But thank you for listening. If you like this, feel free to like this. Hit subscribe. Give me 5 stars if you're on Apple Podcasts or Spotify or Google. And I will see you guys next week. Bye.